I don't think Lisa Barlow talks about her shits though with John.
No, she's so uptight. She could do a number 7. In the words of Samantha from Sex and the City.
Hi everybody, welcome to Overanalyzed.
Hey.
I'm Dom.
I'm Kyla.
Yes, you are. And I'm not, but sometimes I wish I was.
I know. I love those intros where you say you're me. Because I feel like you've been practicing. You're like, I'm Kyla.
Because I just aspire. What can I say? Okay. Well, we're here for another episode recapping Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 6, episode 6. The reason why I wanted you to watch Salt Lake City is because it's my favorite.
After New Jersey.
Not anymore. They ruined the last season. That's why it's still on hiatus. But
you heard it here first.
I'm sorry. That's me sticking it to Bravo.
Hot tea.
Because they really care what I have to say.
They will.
After watching the episode, what are you feeling?
Okay, so what I'm feeling is...
That good, huh?
I know. My initial reaction was, I feel like anticipation for the next episode.
Same. Because
I really like Mary and Angie, and I love a direct person who just tells me, love it. And then I really like their relationship. I feel like they're very, very authentic. And even like with Angie being like, yes, I'm hosting, but also I'm going to keep myself busy because this is a passive aggressive way. And Mary's like, sit down, I didn't come.
And probably like she said it herself, like, I feel like I'm in the principal's office. Like, I totally understand that.
So I'm feeling encouraged and anticipation. Same. And then like Britani and her daughter. I love that scene. Brittany's daughter looks so good in that clip. Yep. That blue was so striking.
Yeah, she had her own confessional. Yep.
And I think it's so funny because I always tell you, like, if I have one hairstyle that just always works, tell me so I can just wear it all the time. And I'm just
you would never do that.
But I would never do that because I'm like, her daughter should probably just wear blue all the time because she looks so good in blue.
Yeah.
It was striking.
I agree with that.
And then I'm also really looking forward to this trip.
Same.
Okay, so anticipation.
We'll go with that.
I'm anticipating the future.
So each one has been building more and more for you.
Well,
or adding to like the moment. Like you. I feel like you're like really invested.
I'm really invested. I can't wait to finish this season so I can go back and watch all the
others.
And
the reunions are just the best.
I'm not going to do a reunion.
Oh, we have to.
I can't.
You have to. You say that.
It's out of my contract.
No, and you know what? When they're on Peacock, they're unedited so that you can hear all the swearing and everything. Man. That's the best part of the season.
I don't like to see people get their feelings hurt, though.
Oh, be quiet. You watch it every week. They do a reunion well because it's all about conflict and resolution, and they do it to a T. They don't hang on to too much.
Yeah, they do.
They're able to like continue on, like, okay, yeah, we're all going to go on this boat trip now, even though Lisa and Angie just annihilated each other in the previous episode.
Do you think Bronwyn's going on the trip? Because it ended with her husband saying,
in that preview, I was trying to look for, I think she is there, if I remember correctly.
So when I watched it, I was like, is he telling her not to come home if she stays on the show? I thought he was giving her like a super ultimatum, but then he's like, don't come home and tell me about it.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I don't remember who started it, but there's this thing where people say you got to be careful about talking about like your significant others and your friends because you'll forgive them, and the people you talk to about them will not forgive them. My husband has told me,
I think we talked about this recently.
Yeah, and he's like,
you're right.
Don't tell me anything else about their love life. I don't care. And I'm like, but I gotta get it out.
Yeah.
Because if you tell me not to say something, my husband is not included in that. He's gonna know.
But he wouldn't say anything if you did.
No, because he doesn't care.
You're like, I heard you cheated. Like, tell me about that.
Remember when Big did that on the Sex and the City?
That's what I mean.
It's like, Samantha, did you ever get it on with that old guy? Then we're like, Big, you're breaking the
I think he said that old coup or something.
I would love to know Bronwyn's story from last season to where she wants to be invested with these girls.
Yeah.
Because it's almost giving Bronwyn, we don't have to be here for the money, so why are you doing this?
You know, now that you say that, I do get that vibe that he's like ready to tap out. This whole time I thought, because he did not get a good edit, good storyline last year at all. Like, he came off very cold and almost like Bronwyn was his child. Like scolding her kind of. And I remember at the reunion when they had the husbands come on, he acknowledged that. And that's often a theme, especially at reunions. When you're rewatching yourself, you're like, oh my God, I do that. I react that way. You know what I mean? So one would hope that you would do some deep self-reflection if you were a mature adult. So I thought in the beginning when we saw him very early on when they had like lunch or something, he was very reserved. I was like, oh, that's just him probably protecting himself so he doesn't... Even though he's still coming off cold, maybe it's very guarded.
But there's two sides to that. Maybe she chooses a man who is the protective provider, and she wants that whole paternal thing. She wants that whole, you're going to take care of me and I still get to be the child. And I mean, sometimes it's even like subconscious where she's like, I had this kid. I don't know what I'm doing. I need someone to come in and do that
and help like take care of me almost.
And that's a whole other journey.
Probably. There's clearly like what we've learned about Bronwyn this season so far is that she clearly has trauma with her parents. Like that is clear as day. So I'm sure there's a lot there that I'm sure she can unpack a lot. But. Yeah. Okay.
Wait, what was your initial reaction? Like, how are you feeling after seeing it?
I keep getting more excited for the next episode because I feel like it can't be like high like drama or high like conflict or discussion every single episode because that's just emotionally draining and overwhelming.
Yeah.
So you need those episodes that are kind of just like those filler episodes, like nothing's really going on. Like you can tell like we got to film something for content, make up time. We haven't had that yet. We've had filler scenes, but every episode has built upon waiting for the next one to come out that I'm like, oh, God, I cannot wait. And ultimately, whatever happens, because I feel like there's going to be some curveballs. There's already like cracks that I'm seeing from Heather and Lisa's friendship. And clearly they have an argument in the next episode, the preview that was shown. So I'm really curious of what the crux to that actually is. I mean, Heather expressed a lot on this episode.
Which was new for me.
For you, yeah. Because they used to not be friends.
And I remember you said, you were like, Heather is so up her ass. Like, let it go. Yeah. What's with you and Lisa?
So I'm very happy about that. Okay. Aside from that, so many emotional things I feel like happened on this one episode. And I connected with all of them in some sort of, in some degree.
Yeah.
And I felt like we got a lot of depth this episode from people that I was not expecting. Lisa, Britani. I'm like, oh my God. I feel like I see a true human side.
Mary,
yeah.
First of all, you only like go to a friend and try to resolve something if you care about the relationship.
Yeah. Well, she said it herself. She's like, I don't think I could live without you.
And I'm like, oh my God. Just let it go.
Right. Yeah. That's why often like we fight with the people that we love the most because not to say that's okay, but it's almost like, for lack of a better analogy or term, it's almost like we have a little bit of an allowance with people that to have these stupid ass arguments or for you to be kind of unhinged, so to speak. I'm not going to say every single time. There's a good chance there's forgiveness already like waiting to come through because we're all not perfect, obviously.
I'm perfect.
Yeah, are you?
No.
Okay. Love that.
Yeah.
Hence why I always aspire to be.
I think when like you're close to people, they bring out emotions and rage and frustration and disappointment are emotions.
And to your point, that's how you know that you really care about. If you don't care about somebody, and maybe this is more like dating. How many times have we chased after people that don't deserve it, that clearly don't care about us, but we're chasing them? So I don't know if that applies to friendship though as much.
So I've had friends and they chase you and you're just like, I'm trying
like,
to
I just want to be your friend and you're like, no, I don't want to be.
And eventually you come to a head where you're like,
we're not that.
Can we stop, please? Have you noticed I don't initiate? And then you're like, Kylie, you need to just tell them. And it's like, I'm not interested in knowing you anymore.
See, I always feel like everyone feels that way about me.
No, people will tell you.
Not everybody.
True, not everybody.
Okay, so let's get into it.
So the beginning. So Bronwyn and her husband, and they're out at having the ice cream or whatever. So I
did that happen first?
I had frustration with this. No, at first it ended with the garden party.
Yes, and then Mary and Angie.
So we didn't talk about this in the last episode. I kind of liked Whitney's song, that whole like, dun, 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 where she's like, I mean,
it was funny.
About hair and let's do. I
think it was like
do that every season.
No.
Oh, it was just. So
I think
it's
just her being funny.
You don't think they told her to make that song? It was so cute, but it was like
probably not because that's kind of a weird thing for production. Like, come up with the song to sing.
It was so kooky.
I think she probably is like, I have a little. I'm sure it was a combination of all the things, but I thought it was really very Whitney.
Has she hosted an event on her own before?
I think so. Yeah, okay. They all probably have at some point. Okay. Yeah, they all definitely at this point. I don't remember what they are. I think they've held like a camping trip also last summer.
Okay,
that was her and Heather.
Okay,
so we start with Mary and Angie, and like I know you alluded to this a little bit. Angie texted Mary to come to her house and meet to discuss their strained friendship. Mary accuses Angie of changing and mocks her for making fun of her farts.
And then we get those scenes and the clips of it. And I was just like, oh my God, this camera crew has so much recorded.
I know. So fun fact. So before I watched the episode, I think Bravo put on like a teaser little clip on social. I think either Sunday or I can't remember. It was before that episode aired, of just that. No context of the conversation part, because they went into like other things about. Yeah. But then when it led into Angie making fun of Mary for farting, I was dying laughing. I can't name a single friend of mine that would say any of that. I would be like, are we really doing this right now? If anything, I'm Mary in this situation where I'd be like, you know what? You made fun of me for farting.
I mean, some people are sensitive about that.
But you know what? After that, and they went into it, I saw her point, because she, at one point, she's like, okay, I get it.
It was just teasing me, period.
Right, but she did say, like, okay, I get it now. Like, we're done with this. And I can understand maybe, and obviously she's having, like, issues with her kid, like, all this stuff. So if you're in, like, I don't know this to be true necessarily, whatever she was going through that day or during that time necessarily, but hypothetically, let's say if you're really stressed or going through a lot emotionally, we all know, like, something like that it could be just that one thing that ticks us off because you've had enough. But I love their conversation, because that is clearly a true friendship, that you could be able to hash it out, speak your truths, be respectful, and being able to take in each other's, feedback and criticisms, and to be able to hug afterwards and be like, okay, God, I got it. You are my sister after all. And I can't live without you. Oh, and because you could have been like, fuck you, no.
I mean, you could have got that text and be like, no, let's FaceTime. Right. Let's have a call. Or I'm not ready yet. So she shows up. Yeah. So you were already like, I've extended the olive branch and you've accepted it. That was huge. Oh, and she's Greek. So
very. I love it.
Get it, Greek olives.
So I really enjoyed that, because I was actually really worried for like weeks now. Like, oh my gosh.
You were, because you were like, I like them together.
I'm like, I can't. And I'm like, you know what? And that really proved, because they both kind of cried. And what I related to Mary, though, in this scene, I relate to having my guard up. And I would say this in the past 3 or 4 years solidly. I have traditionally always had trust issues with just people. I think there was a time, I would say in my 20s, I would tell anyone my story, and I still am to a certain extent. But I mean, there was a motive behind it for me, because I was like just craving connection. So it didn't come from that kind of place of like, oh my God, I want us to like, I was like, oh, I'll tell anyone anything and about myself and not reserving or leaving anything for me that would help two people bond in a very authentic way.
You were sharing to get closer.
Yeah. And and that could be off-putting to someone, like, oh, fuck, I just met you. So I'm like, I don't know why you're telling me all this.
You're trauma dumping. Chill.
Right, exactly. So I related to Mary a lot in that way. And one thing that she said, and I'm going to paraphrase, that when I tell someone they're my friend or I love you, I really take that very seriously.
Yeah, I like that.
And I think that could be to a fault sometimes, where it works against me. Yeah. Because not everyone thinks that way. And you can come off very like Mary well, one could argue in that scene with her and Angie last week of like, maybe she was like, you're being too dramatic, Mary. But I can also understand it, because I was like, well, I could see me acting that way a little bit.
I have mixed emotions. I understand Mary's side.
Yeah.
But also what she was trying to do with Angie was not the place. Like, when I'm seeing red and I'm pissed off, I really don't need you saying, hey, remember who you are. This isn't it.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
And I don't know if there is a solution to that. If she texts her, she's not going to get her phone. At most, maybe go to Lisa and be like, look, chill for a minute.
Yeah.
Because clearly Angie is not hearing you. So I
agree with that.
It was a legitimate conflict, but I'm also like, Mary, you put yourself in a place like you were trying to mediate, and it just wasn't the place for that. That was the place for a referee.
Right. Not the right time.
Like, it just wasn't the place. And so with that, like, I think even if Angie said something and it hurt your feelings, that wasn't Angie. She was fired up. She was pissed. Yeah. Now, I do get the point of like, Mary being mature, and she's like, why would you let someone get you to that place? Right. But that's also not the conversation.
That's easier said than done. Yeah.
And that takes a lot of work to get there.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are certain people that get under your skin. And more than likely, when someone is like that, it's because you are like them. And you're just like, you're irritating the shit out of me because you are doing what I do.
100%.
So there's definitely layers there. But I am glad they were able to reconcile.
Yeah.
I love seeing Angie's house, like more clips of it. And I was like, oh, this is the house she's
very
selling.
Modern. It's beautiful. Very clean, very modern.
Cute. I thought it was cute, especially having no context for the relationship. Just knowing that, Mary literally said, like, you're my friend. I called you my friend. I don't do that with everyone.
Yeah. And that's that part of Mary. That's when I relate. I don't just, if I'm saying that to you, it really comes from a place of depth. That does not mean that I'm perfect and I'm not going to I might do something where you might question, like, well, I thought you said, like, no, I'm flawed just like everybody else. Yeah. Just like Mary is flawed. And I would say I'm more like Angie in this situation in terms of the fight, because you said it perfectly. Like, sometimes you fight really like dirty with people that you see yourself in.
Yeah.
And it triggers that like thing in you. And you act in a way because you're so pent up with emotion.
Yeah.
I, of course, do that. And I think people need to understand that, of like, instead of like saying those things, my friends would be like, okay, let's walk over here, actually. Yeah.
And you know what I do love, which I am only thinking about because I'm flashing back to Lisa's party with all of the billboards and stuff. Mm-hmm. I like that Mary was able to be hurt and it wasn't a huge thing on the outside.
Yep.
Versus Lisa saying, no, I'm so mean and negative because I care, because that can be abusive and that can definitely be an excuse. So I like the fact that like the show is showing us that there's levels.
Yep.
She didn't have to say, Mary, get out of my face. You're irritating me, you fucking bitch. She said enough for Mary to be like, you hurt my feelings, I'm out. Mm-hmm. I like that because it doesn't have to be some huge thing for my feelings to be hurt and for me to leave. So like,
I totally agree.
I like the complexities of the characters. I think it's very good,
and they all
especially because Mary, I feel like, is very stoic and very like poker face.
Yeah, and she cried into like her confessional. I was like, Mary's crying. Like, we've tapped into something, so you can tell like, okay, this means something to her. So I also love the scene between Lisa and her husband,
John.
Very unexpected because I've been very hard on Lisa. I was trying to shuffle through my memories of all the seasons from season 1 till now. And I could be totally wrong. I can't recall a scene that exists that Lisa wasn't this vulnerable. And again, I saw a guard that was down talking to her husband, a very emotional one, that like, she's been frustrated and said like really shitty things. She's cried many a time, but this felt very different to me. Even her, there was a few things that she said that that hit home, that I also was like, fuck, I really feel that. When she said it, we talked about it earlier before we started, but she's talking about communication. And I also agree. I'm like, I think that's the most important thing in any type of relationship, whether it's friendship, work relationships, your boss, your significant others, your parents. I feel like it's so cliche, but like, if you don't have solid, and healthy communication where you just kind of understand each other, or at least have open lines of communication, you can't really have a long lasting anything, whatever the relationship is. But her saying, you need to treat me like glass.
I know.
I almost wanted to start to like tear up. I'm going to use that analogy because I felt that. Because sometimes you are like bulletproof glass, and you're like, no, you could shoot me and I'm not going to shatter. And other times you're like that, like really thin glass where I'm very sensitive and at any moment I could break.
And with other people, it can be different.
Yeah.
You can be bulletproof around the girls, and then with your spouse, you're glass. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I think about? This is going to sound really stupid, but go with me here. It's at Home Goods, their shelves are all glass.
Yeah.
And every time I'm in the aisle that has like a lot of shit on it, especially like pots and pans, I'm always looking at it like, that shit's gonna break. Now, granted, I have yet to ever see that happen.
Glass is strong.
Glass can, but
it's still I think glass. You hit it at the right angle.
Exactly, and that's what I think about in that scene. I'm like, sometimes, you could put a lot on me, but there's a point where I could break. And I think that it's such a solid analogy for people when dealing with your friends or your significant others. We're so self-consumed with our own shit. And I think a lot of it is justified because the world is literally falling apart. People are losing their jobs. They can't pay their bills. They're trying to take care of their families, their dogs, their children. People are getting cheated on. Friends are so stressed out that they're treating you like shit too. And then vice versa. Like, there are so many things that are being thrown at us every single day. But that is also, we have to kind of remember, I think this is a good analogy to keep in mind, of like treating everyone like they are glass, because we don't know how all these things are affecting the other person. Because I know, like, even with my closest friends, I don't tell everybody everything. I'm working through that in therapy of why that is. So to be continued. But I keep a lot in because I don't want to burden other people. Unfortunate effect of that is you put too many of those pans on my shelf and then I could crack at any moment. And then your friends are like, what the fuck is going on? Because, you know what I mean? Damn, Lisa Barlow really got me here.
Especially coming from her. I think especially with this coming from her. What broke my heart was when she said, she goes and like cries and talks to her dad on the phone in the way she would like to talk to her spouse.
Instead of talking to her husband,
But as a person who's married...
I was going to say, this is you, girl. You tell me.
If you are married and you're tough and strong, and you marry someone who doesn't care because they let you be tough and strong, then you have to let them know, I never wanted that from our relationship, but now I want it.
Like it changes or something?
And that can be very, very different. Because you're like, yeah, at first I had it. We're going to run the world. We're going to be this empire. Because she's like, I'm mom, I'm spouse, I'm partner. And maybe even before you have kids, we can do it. Let's go. And you're the supporting star. It might make sense. Yeah. And then now you're like, but don't you see me drowning with all this stuff? It was hard for me to watch because I'm like, should John know that she's drowning? Do you ever tell him you're drowning? You know what I mean? Is it easier to tell your dad because he's not there? Because then it's hard to be vulnerable. And so you're like, hey, husband, I'm drowning. Oh, and now I have to walk past you now. And now they're like, are you drowning today too? It's
very layered. That's a good point.
It's very difficult. And I can imagine that she has never or very rarely shows that part.
Yeah.
And so then when she shows it and
even how he was like responding to her.
Yeah.
It almost seemed like this was like, who the fuck is this?
I could imagine it's new because also like girls and their dads, you're like, oh, my dad will always take care of it.
Yeah.
So there's a comfort and it's also probably easy to talk to him.
Yeah.
And so now you're like, I know you're not my dad, but I would require that emotional stability from you too. And if she's never asked that of him, it'll be starting a whole new thing. But I do think it's fascinating because typically the people who are always pointing fingers and like shooting arrows are the softest people. And they're just projecting. I agree with that. Literally like they're porcupines, tiny little things. They have all these arrows, and it's because they're so soft and ooey gooey. They just don't want any
or need it the most. And I think that's what we forget. And I think that's going back to what I said just a few minutes ago of relationships are so difficult, and to your point, we're always ever like evolving and changing. And I have to imagine like children play an interesting role in all this because I know she has one kid he's still on his mission. So he's over 18, and who you were 18 years ago, or even 15 years ago when they had two young children, what I needed then is not what I need now. Because then, and I'm sure you can understand this in some sort of way of like, well, our attention goes to our daughter and she needs this from us, and how your husband might interact might be different. When you say that, it actually makes almost I want to give allowance to her husband John in a way, because it's like, well, if she's never asked for
people can take on a lot. You were literally just telling us you deal with a lot. Sometimes you share it, sometimes you don't, and things can come out in different times. You have to use wisdom for that.
Yep, that's great.
But also, there's a lot of time women are praised for being strong and handling it, and I got it. And I'm like, no, I will cook one night a week, and we're doing takeout the rest, because if you're not going to cook, I'm not going to cook. Yeah. But you have to say that. And there was a book I was reading called We Should All Be Millionaires, and the wife was like, you're running a business, you're taking care. If you're the default parent, the parent that the kid runs to when they're upset, or when everyone has a doctor's appointment, and the favorite orders when you go to fast food, why aren't you even having coffee in the morning? My husband doesn't drink coffee. But I was like, I've never told him how to make my coffee. Yeah. So then I was like, hey, when you make her toast, why don't you put on some hot water for me? He's like, all right. And I was like, shit, I just never asked you. Never asked you. Yeah,
that's very interesting.
And so, someone can't read your mind, but then it also sucks.
But we also kind of expect. Yeah, exactly.
It's absolutely bananas, but it's.
So it sounds like when you have those moments with your husband, it's very like, I don't know if easy is the right word, but receptive is what I get.
It depends, because I am very conflict aggressive, and he's very not.
Yeah.
And so what we'll do is we'll wait until the baby goes to bed, and he'll be downstairs watching TV, because I always read, and then I go to bed, and he's a bad snorer, so he comes up after me. So I come downstairs so he's not looking at me, so that he's not like, hey, let's talk. So he'll be laying on the couch, I'll stand behind him. I go, so when tomorrow can you do X, Y, and Z? Or hey, I don't want you to read my mind. I'd love it if you'd fill the dishwasher.
Yeah.
And here's the thing I had to learn. So I run like 8 businesses and things.
You do a million things.
But the only way I get that done is because if I say I'm doing my nails or something, book it now, because I'll forget. I'm a now.
Yeah.
I record a video of us every day.
Yeah.
I put it up at 1:30. I do it now.
Yeah.
I want him to do that. And he's not my child. Yeah. And I cannot make him do that. And so he's like, cool. Do you really want it done now? And I'm like, no, it's fine. But I had to tell myself
Does
it's
that
fine.
ever make you like frustrated? Like to the point where you have like a thing like...
Well, we've had conversations about it where he's like, why do I have to do it now? I had to just tell myself, I was like, hey, like, he's not you. So if you get up in the morning, you come downstairs and it's done, that's cool too.
Yeah.
To me, if you're watching TV, why don't you just load it now? But then I'm like, Kyla, he's not you. So literally we've just had conversations where he's like, I don't want to do it now. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. So
and you're like, okay, I guess that is true.
It is true, but like he had to be honest enough to tell me how important is it that it's right now? Because sometimes when you want it now, and especially as you're a parent, it's the control of I told you to do it, so do
that
it.
Makes sense.
More than I want to see the counter clear.
Right.
And so I'm like,
or the action.
Oh no, I just would like it done. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to give us passes because you just listed out the list of things. Being alive is difficult. Yeah. And it is challenging. And we've all been alive for the first time. Like people are like, give me some slack. I've only been alive. I've only been 41.
I've been only doing this once. Yeah.
I don't know how rough his day was. Yeah. I don't know why he's unwinding with TV. Just like he's like, why are you reading a book after you read books to our kid? Aren't you tired of reading? You got to give people grace to be people. Yeah. And so for that to come from Lisa, I feel like anyone else having that conversation, we would have been like, yeah. I feel like Whitney and her husband talk like that all the time. Yeah. Coming from
it hits
Lisa,
harder in a way.
It was very interesting.
And in a very unexpected way. I think where I relate to her too, and I don't know if she necessarily does this full extent to this, but it goes back to, you reminded me of it, of some of the things that you were just expressing of, even like my last relationship, there was a lot that I was going through that and this includes my friendships too, that I just like, no, I want to present this. I don't want to say present this image because I don't present something that's not necessarily real. I always, in my mind, the only word that comes in mind is burden. I'm like, I'm not going to burden anyone with my problems, whether it's my health, money, all the things. I want to show you this so that you know that I'm doing okay. Yeah. It's not presenting a false image of myself. It is, I feel like I'm burdening people with my problems. And I'm like, I don't want you to see that version of me. But in hindsight, I mean, then you wind up having a conversation with your husband, over a decade later, and you're like expecting one thing, but I've never given you the allowance previously. So how can you can't expect someone.
Or you can. But they're going to disappoint you
100%.
Because your expectation was different.
100%.
And that speaks to the strength of Mary and Angie. And it didn't have to be something huge for her to say this is unacceptable.
Right, exactly.
And you hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And when you can do those micro things, it doesn't get to where it's like, but you've never helped with the kids. And it's like, I didn't know you needed help.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what you said. You can't expect people to be a mind reader. So,
but that also means you got to tell them as uncomfortable as it is.
As uncomfortable as it is, because... it's, I don't know what her deal is, but it's like, well, I don't want to see it any less, attractive or maybe not appealing, or maybe if I reveal this part, that could be like, nope, I don't want, sorry, that's not what I signed up for.
I know.
And I think you always tell me this too. It's someone loves you. They love all your shit.
But you got to show them the shit.
Yeah.
For them to know.
And that's it.
And we talk about that all the time when we watch and rewatch Sex and the City.
Oh, God,
because
that's all that is.
When Carrie is honest, they get to be more grounded versus the ones like after she has the blow up with Big or when she farted and she's so embarrassed. And then it's like, but if you guys can get past that, it's like,
isn't that like, they don't like, that's real love. Yeah.
There's I just watched the episode where Miranda's talking about how she ran to the lobby on vacation to poop because she didn't want to poop in front of a guy forever.
I get that because I've done that too.
I have.
Or you hold it in and you're like, want to like get sick and die.
For like the first 2 years, I would not let my husband fart in front. I was like, this is so disrespectful, and it's happening. You need to go in the other room. Like, and then he's like, I get that, but like,
stuff. Yeah.
I live here, and I'm like, well, can you go to the other side of like, one or two if you can't, if it's like sporadic, You know what's so funny? I just thought about this too. You're not walking around just
because that is a very intimate thing. But I remember at our last place of employment together, I can't remember. I was taking like a new something, and it was affecting my bowel movements. I'll be very PG on here, be very doctor-like. And I remember I was messaging, texting the gentleman I was in a relationship. I was like, "You should see the toilet paper right now." I'm like, I don't know, because I was like so concerned with my body. But in hindsight, I didn't think about it till this moment of like we were having a whole conversation. And it wasn't like, ew, you gross motherfucker. Don't talk. It was like, oh my God, I'd never seen it like this.
I know.
So, yeah, it's a good point. I don't think Lisa Barlow talks about her shits, though, with John.
No, she's so uptight. She could do a number 7. In the words of Samantha from Sex and the City. But speaking of being honest.
Yeah. You're talking about Bronwyn?
No.
Oh,
Britani and her daughter, Olivia.
Another emotional scene. Yeah.
So here's the thing. Life is stupid in the weirdest ways. Her daughter is probably strong and outspoken because her mom was
She was ready. Yeah, she was ready to talk about it.
But she also probably was like, her mom was probably a bad example. And she said, I'm being the opposite.
Yeah.
So who's to say if she was this fantastic going to every homecoming game mom, she might have been a freaking doormat.
Like in her relationship, you mean?
And yeah, because she probably is, you know what I mean? So you can tell she's been wanting to say that stuff to her mom.
Oh my God. Yeah, she was, even like the video footage of her walking across the street or whatever, you saw like, all right, we're going to do this. Great.
When they walked up to each other and they were like, do we hug or do we not? Because we don't embrace.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could not fake that. Even if they said, pretend like you guys don't want to hug. We still would have a smile on our face like, okay.
There is an awkwardness. You
could not fake that
that whole scene. Even the tears. Because there was a part when Britani first started crying. Then I'm like, no, you can't fake this shit.
You could not fake that. So the daughter, I'm so proud of her to be able to tell. And then also
because that cannot be easy.
To have little ones and then to see these older ones. And like, maybe you thought you were showing public displays of affection and she felt like you were choosing him over you. Or maybe you knew, oh, I'm choosing him now, but they're kids, they'll get over it. Whatever the reason was for her daughter to say, that impacted me so strongly and I didn't appreciate it. And like,
well, her basically saying like, how do you choose a guy over me? Like I didn't grow up in a household like that, close to that, never witnessed it firsthand. I mean, I've had friends that in hindsight, I look back and they probably had something similar-ish to that, but I can't connect with it. So watching this, my heart just breaks because my mind just goes to how do you not make your children and continue to make your children throughout your whole life your number one priority? When she talks about making out in front of her and all that, while A, let's just be clear, that's uncomfortable to begin with, but B, that's not even like your dad. And I'm not just saying that would be any better, but it's almost more despicable in a way. Like, okay, so you're just bringing these dudes here and you're making out with them in front of your daughter while neglecting to like have conversation with her. The whole thing, it just makes me feel so like, how do you? I'm not a parent, so my knowledge is very limited, but I can't imagine. I can't imagine it or how that could feel, especially for her. That makes my heart breaks for her, the daughter.
My heart breaks for her. I'm also proud that she was able to tell and say what was going on.
Yes.
I feel like you could kind of tell that Britani was expecting it to be easy.
I think
because of the tarot
I think she wanted it. Yeah.
I think she was expecting her to be like, "Mom, I've been waiting."
Yeah, and that's a really good point. Because she wasn't reserved, but it did. Like the first set of tears.
I got you a steamer.
Yeah.
Bitch, I'm not here to talk about that.
She's like, you remember this? Like when you were a little kid and says that whole story. And I think, you know what, now that you say that.
Let's talk about the current stuff where you're breaking my heart.
That daughter's like, I don't give a fuck about Starbucks when I was 4.
When I was 4. Do you know how you hurt me 4 years ago?
That
not
part.
4.
You remember how I can't fucking trust you? And let's be completely honest. Now, I probably have trust issues with my own relationships because of but that's all I think about. Like, that's why I don't want children. Like, I don't have, not only do I not feel the paternal thing in me, props to my parents for teaching me this.
Yeah.
Because I know the responsibility that it takes raising a human being and that you're shaping their view of the world and how to trust and love another person outside of yourself, including yourself, of course.
Not even to mention paying for their life.
The
caring about
the economical portion. But to know, like, if I had a child and they had trust issues
that you gave them,
that I gave them, that I did, like, I don't know how, and I really mean this. I don't know how I would be able to live with myself. Yeah. That's not an irreversible, like, and the daughter said that, like, we can't go back.
No.
That must be a burden that I can't imagine what that would feel like. And also, props to Britani for being really receptive of that conversation. She didn't go, well, you know what? There was no excuses made. I think going for the first time, maybe, of fully understanding the extent of the damage that she was done. And so that was probably the best response that she could have given her was nothing, because...
Just to listen.
Right, just to listen and not make excuses for herself.
But we've seen that before when Britani was out with Whitney and said she wasn't talking to Jared anymore. So here's the thing. Olivia is going to give her a test, and Britani cannot be mad that she's going to test her. Mm-hmm. Hey, Mom, they're not going to dinner. You're not going anywhere. You got to be together 3 hours. Yep. It's going to be something small.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm walking the dog for 20 minutes. You want to come?
Yeah. Get coffee.
Britani
whatever.
Better not. Can Jared come? You know what I mean? Or I'm having a barbecue at Jared's. Want to come over?
Yeah.
It needs to be only them.
Or as simple as, okay, yeah, let's meet up Friday at 3 and then cancel because you have to meet Jared. Or any other guy for that matter.
Because she is telling you, I'm here, right? I responded to your messages.
Yeah.
I didn't have to.
Yep. Yeah.
I responded, I'm here. I'm telling you we can't go back. And Britani will have to care about the stuff she's doing. Yeah. Oh, you're in some shitty play or whatever, and I got to watch it. Oh, you're doing something. You're going to have to show her you care about her stuff.
And she's going to be walking on eggshells for a while, Britani. And that also means, okay, if you are going to meet up Friday at 3, and if you have to cancel, whether it's a guy or not, that is still right. Exactly. Like it doesn't. The trust is broken.
You have to show up. She has to.
You're showing.
Or if she needs to cancel for whatever, you need to know.
You better be upfront and honest.
You need to give her a good year, if that, and you need to no, because her daughter's gonna be like, "Mom, you're still you."
I would.
Here's the thing.
I'd be like, "Of course you're canceling. Fuck you."
And that's just it.
That'd be my first reaction.
She's going to be expecting her to cancel I knew
to
show up with a guy.
Exactly.
So you showing up is the exception.
Yeah.
So don't show up with some bullshit, and please don't show up and talk about me at 4 years old. But there's layers to that. Maybe the mom felt away being married.
Yeah.
And having the kids. Because if she was 4, the other one's like 7.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a fun part. They're both able to talk. Yeah. You can throw your tantrum, and maybe she's like, "Shit, I wish you were still throwing a tantrum. At least you were talking to me."
I wonder if she's in therapy.
Britani?
Yeah, she has to be, because you don't do that kind of shit unscathed or without any
No,
clearly.
But that's just it. She does. Whitney said, "Your kid's the most important, right?" And she's like,
Yeah, I think so.
So she probably is.
So she needs to go through and figure out why it is that your children did not remain your first and most important priority throughout all your bullshit.
You have to juggle them, and that's where you can't cook every night, because it's okay to have the takeout if it gives you some rest. Because I have to nurture a relationship with my husband, and I have to nurture a relationship with my child.
Totally, yeah.
You're not hanging out with them at 5 or not, and then all of a sudden they're teenagers and they want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And you have all to that nurture it every single level. And even to spin this, Mary and her son, he's an adult, and they do have a good relationship.
Yeah.
But she can't always look at him as 7 years old.
Yeah.
She has to nurture the relationship with him as an adult.
Yeah. And she understands that. Yeah.
And it's okay if Britani is like, I felt like at 13, y'all were good, and I didn't want anything else. But then also don't feel guilty with the tarot card reader. Like, clearly the guilt is coming because you want to be close. So now you have to do the work.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to it. It is going to be work. And that's why, like, when I was saying, there's people that think I'm their best friend and I'm not. I'm like, I'm not doing any work. Yeah. I'm just going to have to eventually tell you, like, I actually don't want to do this. Like, can you please stop inviting me to stuff? Because...
If anyone ever said that to me, I would literally jump off my balcony.
No.
But you know what? Here's the thing with me. It is a little bit of pride, but I don't want to be a burden, blah, blah, blah. Because of that, it prevents me from getting closer to people.
Yeah.
I.e. Mary, right? The other part to that is, because I'm such a sensitive person, people know where they stand with me. If I don't like you, kind of know it. So I don't have people up my ass going, hang out with me. They know if I don't want to hang out with you. So those people that are asking me, it's because they know I want to, and I'm just being a prick and I have my own shit, then that's why I'm not.
Yeah.
That's communication. People know where they stand. I like people to know, so I don't have to have those conversations. To be very fair, I don't have them because it's not like I have a line of people wanting to be my friend.
Well, somebody in the show said something about 20 years, 15 years of friendship.
Who said
was that Meredith? When she
Probably.
was
talking about Lisa?
And all I could think of was Carrie and Aiden. And I'm like, we're not close just because we've always been close.
Right. Yeah. Like by default.
That was just all I was thinking about.
On the relationship front, let's go to the first scene with Bronwyn and her husband that was at the ice cream shop.
Yeah.
because that was incredibly awkward. And I actually sat there on my couch watching that episode.
That
scene, and the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, he seems like he comes from a generation not to be this person that doesn't really practice self-reflection and change. Like, he looks pretty set in his ways. I'll just put it that way. Not to say that people of any ages can't change. I've seen it. I just kept saying to myself the whole time, I feel so awkward. I feel so awkward because she's trying and he's just like, yep, stealing her cherry off her, even though she just said 30 seconds prior, like, don't do that, pisses me off. Yeah. It made me feel like, and again, I really hope there's something that we don't see behind the scenes with their relationship. I feel like she was chasing the guy that just, she wants to like her back.
This hurts my feelings so bad because Bronwyn has been married for over a decade. He's always been like this, and I feel like she's probably always accepted it. And so now, like Lisa and John, you're asking for more from someone who's never given you more. And it's not to say that they're not capable. To your point, people can change.
Yeah.
I think she wants that relationship where she's the little kid and she's like, but you're the prize. I'm just here. Because even at the end when she legit starts crying and she's like, I'm so sorry. This is a reflection on you. And I'm like, how are you sorry someone told a story that...
Yeah. Oh, you mean like the end of the episode?
Yeah, when it ends. And it's like she's always... Like, she still wants his approval. And I'm like, he's married you. He's chosen you. But she doesn't feel chosen.
Yeah.
So it's both like a gap in her.
Definitely.
And it's a gap from him to like, how do I show you that you're chosen? Because it's more than the words. It's the tone of voice.
Yeah.
It's you being dismissive.
Body language.
I've had these conversations. If I'm doing something and my husband wants to go, you're paparazzi. And you're paparazzi tonight. I don't care. I'm not social media guy to care less. You don't have to be in the picture. You're going, or I gotta hire somebody to come with me and take pictures. If I'm going to something, you're paparazzi.
Yeah.
And so it's not that you have to change who you are. It's whatever I'm doing is so important that it matters to you. And so that's the difference between Bronwyn, because it's like, I get he maybe doesn't want the mess. Yeah. And I gave him a pass earlier when I was like, you can't forgive the friends for being so messy.
Right.
But if this is important to Bronwyn, some part of you has to be like, it matters to her.
Right.
For whatever reason that it matters to you that you're on the show and you have a relationship with Lisa, I need to support you.
Yes.
Like, you have to be like, I trust your decisions, and if you're going to do this, because he's like, don't come back here telling me about it.
No, fuck him.
You're her spot. You should want to hear about it.
Well, going back to the first conversation in the episode, whether you're eating ice cream alone, in your mind, if you don't give a fuck about these women or what she's going through, so just put on a fucking act. It reminds me of, like, my mom taught me this as a young kid, like a teenager. But like, my dad was doing yard work one day, and my mom's like, "Go help your dad." I'm like, "I don't want to." He didn't. She's like, "Go help him," and I said, "I don't." He doesn't want my help, and so I went and asked. I'm like, "Do you want me to help?" And it wasn't obviously like you can tell, like,
"Do you want me to
normal?"
Help
okay, yeah. He's like, "No, I got it." And he when he gets like not emotional, but like I get from him where I'm not dismissive, but like, they better fucking ask me for help. But then you do. I'm like, "No, I got it." And I'm kind of petty that way. So he gave me that. I come back in the house. I'm like, she's like, "Why aren't you helping?" I was like, "He didn't want it. He doesn't want it. And if he did, he'd ask me. He clearly doesn't want me to because he knows I don't want to." And she goes, and I will, it's ingrained in my head. And this is how I treat people to a fault sometimes. And she goes, "Dominic, in life, you do the things that you don't want to do for the people that you love. You just do it." And I remember like, okay.
Aww.
So there are a lot of things, and I won't tell people. And sometimes in the fit of rage, very Angie-esque, I might say, if I'm having an argument, like, "You know what I fucking have done for," and I don't get pride in that. And it's happened very few and far in between, but it stayed in my head. And it really, and again, all he had to do was, "I know you don't want to hear this shit, Todd, but if you do love her, just act fucking interested. You're talking to your wife. You're not talking, to your business partner.
I know.
Just act interested for her sake. It requires almost nothing. You don't need to give too many, like, ask her questions. Go like, "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry you're going through that." Whatever the thing is. But my mom told me that at a young age, and it has stuck with me. I think I was like 13 or 14 at most. And so so if people ask, there's so many things, and I'll blanketly say this, and you'll never know because I won't tell you. There's so many things I'm like, I don't want to do this, But I do. I get my fat ass up out of my house. I walk down to my car in the parking garage, and I show up.
Yeah.
I
never learned that lesson.
And if I can't, I will make sure to tell you.
Yeah.
And that's all he needed to do in that moment. And I'm like, why can't? And so it makes me wonder. I'm like, do you actually care about her, your wife? Do you know what I mean?
I used to keep note cards for my friends. Like that. This is Erica. Because I could not. We've talked about this before. I'm always the person you can tell a secret to because I don't care. Like I will forget it.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, this person does this. So when she mentions this job, that's what she's talking about. Because I would legit have cards and be like, oh, okay, that's who it is. I don't keep those kind of things.
I remember everything.
Like, and so then I'm like, what was that? Or like, I'll have people's birthdays and it'll be like a week before. Like, don't forget their birthday's coming. And I'm like, great.
Because you write everything down. Because you remember everything. You even like things I've told you.
I would be on the phone with.
You're like, is this your uncle that? I was like, you remember that?
It's probably because a
lot of somewhere. But I know whatever. Because people again talking about maybe this is a very relationship episode theme. But when you care about somebody. If you are invested in someone, you will do. If your method is writing things down, you do it.
Yeah.
So I understand that, and clearly he doesn't write anything down or show it because I don't think he gives shits about her.
He does, and that's hard because like.
So what did
I like
this guy's
a
young hot wife?
Well,
like what's it, like? What is that? You're rich. You're an old rich white guy. You can have anything, whether you agree with it or not. You give her credit for being like. A fashionista, bold, like creative. She's intellectual. You can have a conversation with her. She's funny. She's smart. And she's younger and pretty. She's not 25 blonde bimbo. So it's like, I'm just not understanding at this point. We're in 2 years now into the show with seeing their relationship. And it's like, do you not give a fuck about her?
Two things. And the first one is kind of sad. He might love her, but not like her.
Oh, that hurts.
So I love you. I provided for you and your child. And now your mom lives here. Hello. Yeah. I'm providing. I'm here. I'm at the ice cream shop. I have to record today.
Yeah.
But he probably may not like the intricacies of her life. He probably could give two shits. Or because they're not OGs, he is still getting used to being on TV.
So learning how.
Yeah, like Real Housewives OGs. And he's just like, oh, it was cute when she said, let's do it. And now I'm like, fuck, they're still here recording. We're really going to be you really have to hang out with them as this job.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Because this is, even if they've been married 17 years, 2 years they've been on the show, you're like, this is really different than what we thought. Are you sure?
You know, it's weird.
So there could be that.
When you just said that, I can't remember what podcast I was listening to, but it was after last season ended. And that was Bronwyn's first season. And they're like, she probably won't be back next season. Because clearly, if it doesn't look like money isn't like they need the money necessarily. Very comfortable.
Yeah,
they're good.
Because you need the supporting cast to your story. You have Mary and you have her mother or grandmother. Yeah. You have the son.
Yeah, it could be
you
your
have
kids.
Her relationship with Angie. You have now I know Andrea. I know Electra, her daughter. I know the dad.
Yeah,
if
you need all that.
Bronwyn and her clothes.
Yeah,
that's only going to go so far.
Right.
Also, you're going to be bringing different energy, like. My husband's here. I can't record today.
I can't. Yeah, and that has happened before in other shows, and it doesn't end well for them. So it makes me. And if any of those things are true, I would still say I'm like, okay, well, they're probably going to get divorced then,
or
because that seems stressful either way.
It's probably very stressful, but people can adapt to stress, and they can. This is my normal. That he never likes my stuff, and now it's like, but now that it's on TV, either you're finally seeing it, or. No, but I like it this way because it's comfortable.
Or here's another layer to this, too, with them specifically, because this happened to Whitney and her husband. And she said it at the end when they're having their second conversation. She's like, I know this is going to affect your job. He seems like the type, if you now start affecting my job, I can see him dumping her. To your point, when you say it could be stressful, like he's still learning. He seems like the kind of dude that if he loses his like main moneymaker, his job over this, in his mind, dumb show, I can see like, fuck this, fuck you, I'm out of this relationship.
I can see that too. And you and I have talked about that where I don't understand that piece where like, if you're successful and have money, you can redo it. So why not say, oh, I lost that, but I still have her. What else are we going to build? Instead of, I've lost my status and my support.
The reason why I say that is funny enough, because you mentioned them earlier, Whitney and her husband went through it. He got let go from his job because of Whitney being on the show. Because she was on stripper poles and it was not a good look. And they're still together and they seem very like cool with each other.
Her.
Right, exactly.
Dang.
I don't I don't want to make any like rash judgments here. I don't think he would choose her.
So they're probably going to choose the show then and like leave the show. Keep his comfy stuff.
I'll make
this all is probably, I think it's all based on like, I don't know what the church teaches, but I feel like it's all based on her not feeling worthy and having that kid.
Oh,
and so she's just like, and I'm sure the mom does not help. And she's probably always like, he probably was the one safe space. Damn.
And her protector.
I know.
Because he was, keep it real, I'm not sure she would like this, but he does fund her life. The mom made very well aware that we all knew that in a few episodes ago.
You know, I got no problem with that. I think that's absolutely fine.
I'm such a love. I'm like, that's all I see.
Carrie Bradshaw had no money. Big wrote her a $50,000 check like it was a 20.
But then when they got back together, she kind of did have money because she
kept, but she also like for a while she's trying. Miranda and Steve, she tried to buy his suit, and that was a big thing.
And then he owned a bar, and they got back together. See, I'm too love centric that I'm like, okay, listen. I think I've said this. I have dated guy, not millionaires, but they were successful in their like way more than I am in things.
Accomplished.
Very accomplished, and they should be applauded. But I'm attracted to that kind of thing too. Not that I don't know any relationship I've ever been in. I never knew how much was in their bank account. Yeah. I never asked. I think it's very uncomfortable when I hear it. Like, I hear it on Housewives a lot. I don't need to know that. If we get married, I kind of should know your credit score, what you owe, vice versa.
I just want to know if you can pay for dinner now.
Right, exactly. And if I can't, can we have the conversation? And are you going to judge me if I can't? You know what I mean? Yeah. Other than that, I'm like, I don't see things that way. My brain, my heart does not work in that way. It's just like, do you love me? Do you care about me? Can you protect me emotionally? Can we be there for each other? Okay, great. I don't know what their deal is. Yeah. And I'm sure there's a protective piece of money because I can understand if you're a young mom, single mom, and you meet this older man with a lot of money.
But it's a shame piece. And that's one of the things I don't like about their arguments. The women always try to shame the other women.
And I don't, if that's your deal, I'm like, what?
Why would I get married
living your truth.
To stay the same? That's really stupid. Why would I have a whole nother person here and you're not built? If I want a project, I'll just do another job at work. Like, what else are you? Okay, so Lisa has a husband. You're my business partner. Did you have all those businesses before? Like, did all he give you was kids and more stress because you're doing all the stuff? Yeah. Like, honestly, that actually is, in my opinion, that's worse.
I could see
because when you are, and when I think rich, I think like mega rich, like Melinda Gates.
Damn.
I would like to feel like you're not packing your kids' lunches. They're probably in college. But if you had a house manager, they're making $175 a year.
Yeah.
To keep track of the carrot sticks and the apples and all the bullshit that they need to have. So you, Lisa, are taking that on yourself. You, Bronwyn, are taking that on yourself. Like, you've earned your role here. And I don't think Bronwyn will ever feel like she's earned her role. And that breaks my heart. But
I was going to say that makes me want to cry.
If she chooses her marriage over the show, it will make me sad because I enjoy watching her on the show. I think she's hilarious. But I would not judge her for that. And I definitely wouldn't shame her for that because, like, I won't be rude and be like, however many more years he has.
Yeah.
But if she chooses her marriage,
I'll tell you this. I'm gonna make a prediction. November 3rd, 2025. I'm gonna make a prediction here.
Yeah.
Anywhere between the next 6 to 12 months, I would not be surprised if there's a divorce announcement and Bronwyn continues the show.
Wait a minute though, because you always have the inside scoop.
I don't have none.
It's November 2025. You know something?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. It's all based on just what I'm seeing in my gut. That
if she chose herself over that, I would be so
I
proud of her.
see it because I think, you know why? And I've kind of heard this certain little things in other shows before. I do feel like there is such power. I said this earlier, rewatching yourself on national TV on what Us Weekly has named the best Housewives cast.
It's damn good.
So like, this is not like, I think there is power in that in terms of how one can view themselves. And because she seems very self-aware enough that she knows her struggle, she knows her story, she knows her truth. And I think we're going to see, maybe as this continues on, whether I'll say this, whether he files for divorce, her, and again, it's a prediction. It's not based on anything.
And we're not wishing this.
And I don't like families breaking. I love love. If well, if he truly loves her, the feminist in me is like, get the fuck out. You live your best life, girl. I can see them getting divorced, her remaining on the show, and we see this new, like, rejuvenated Bronwyn. Because we're still getting to know her in a lot of ways. I can see that.
Well, let me add this as our last note. If she leaves, because I feel like from their conversations, I feel like she hasn't worked before, like outside the house. Maybe run her own business.
Maybe she has.
But I would not be surprised if he hasn't wanted her to be big and successful because he knew that she might leave. Because men can tell when you're insecure. And he might know when you get your own stuff, you might not want to be here. You might not have to have me. And now she's been on the show for 2 years and she's like, I am powerful. I am strong. I can do anything.
I could also see this. This happened on another show. I could see this.
Another Housewives? Okay.
So in season 1 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Camille Grammer was on the show. Frasier. Kelsey Grammer's ex-wife.
Yes.
So they were together, but he was doing a play in New York. And so he was on the show a couple of times. There's a few scenes. But what you find out towards the end is that he's been having an affair on her. So the last episode, it's actually really sad because she was horrible on the show. Like, she was a huge bitch. And actually, I can't remember what magazine they had it on. There was a cover of a magazine. They talked about it at the reunion that year. That said America's Most Hated Housewife. Because she was such a fucking bitch.
Because he was
But she was going through a lot. And so Camille came back the next year and was well received, well liked. But what I will say is, she talked about it. She did not want to do the show, and he talked her into it. Basically, as like giving her, like, here's your thing. Almost
while
like this
I'm leaving.
Yes.
Oh,
so here's your, like, I'm giving this, almost like I'm like giving it to her. And now she has her own thing, so now he can do whatever. I could see him going, to your point. I could also see, it's like, okay, you know what? I don't really love her. Maybe I love her and not like her, whatever the case may be. He's already tapped out. It's like, okay, she can do year 2. Now she's solidified some sort of level of fame that she can, like, hopefully use this as some sort of investment in herself, of brand deals, continue on the show, create a fashion, who knows, right? So he can be like, okay, now that you have income, you have a career, I'm out because I don't need this.
That gives me chills because
I could see that too.
He married her while she had the baby, so I feel like the daughter has probably grown up with that as her dad. But Kelsey Grammer had children too.
They had young kids at the time.
So I just was talking about this, and I know this is very depressing. But my friend was like, she was like, am I delusional? I'm trying to make this relationship work, and they have this conflict style, and I have this conflict style. And I was like, wanting a relationship is delusional. It's way easier to be like, fuck this, I'm out.
It's kind of amazing that we were able to do that. You know?
And I'm not a person who loves love. I don't think you guys would be surprised. But I do feel like it's beautiful and beneficial and absolutely, and it can change you as a person. So I think it is delusional to be in love. Of course. Oh, of course. But to think that, like, a person can be that vindictive and devious.
And do something like that.
To open up your heart to someone and they could possibly be thinking, here's your thing, let me leave this way.
Yeah.
Is terrifying.
Yeah. I think she even described it. I don't know if this is 100%. It was almost like a going away gift to her. You know what I mean? Like, he really talked her into doing it selfishly so he can, finagle around. But also, it's like, okay, we're going to divorce. She got a really good settlement out of that divorce.
This makes me think of when people say, like, don't meet your idols because they're not what you think. But because I love the show Frasier.
That's why he's MAGA. So.
But my thing is, that part gross.
Yeah.
My thing is, like, I'm so honest and authentic. I don't mind meeting your idol and you realize, oh, you're not the character I watch on TV.
Yeah, you can
you're a whole nother person?
Yeah.
To me, I don't mind that because, like, well, I've been on here completely sick. Like, this can be acting where it's like, I got to show up. This is our show. So I don't mind that piece.
But that just goes with the territory.
That's fascinating.
But there is, like, that would, like, I was never like a Frasier fan. I mean, I've seen Frasier, but I'll tell you what, knowing that, I'm like, fuck Kelsey Grammer. I could never watch Frasier after that. Or the spin-off, or the whatever. I know it came back. Yeah. I was like, no, I would never even humor it because I know your true colors. And depending on what the case is, I have a hard time separating the art from the person. It depends on what it is. But in general, I do have a very difficult time depending on the content, I guess. Politics being one of them. I'm like, no, nope. You're not my
Jerry Seinfeld's the same way. He met his current wife leaving for his honeymoon. And now he's been with her like 37 years.
I was going to say.
But people romanticize the size of like, oh, your life can change in a heartbeat.
Well, it's very difficult because I think it all comes down to how do you do it? Like, don't have affairs on people. If you don't love someone anymore, it hurts less if you just tell them, I know I can't give you anything else other than I just don't love you anymore. I can't do this. You can build yourself up quicker
from that
versus my husband, who I love so much and I thought we were good, has been having an affair on me for however long. That is soul crushing, and people sometimes can't come back from
the betrayal of that.
That's
gross.
A very real thing.
I love that I'm watching Real Housewives Salt Lake City for the first time, and it's the best cast ever.
It is. Because I was trying to find that Us Weekly cover, and I cannot find it anymore.
I'll find it. I'll put it up.
You always find everything. I'm like, I want to buy it. Utah just looks stunning. I think that means like after this, we have to go to Salt Lake City.
Well,
for more research.
I like some of the clips, and then I keep thinking avalanche. I'm like, shit.
Well, we're not going to climb the mountain. I just want to go to downtown Salt Lake City and like I want to go to Heather's like Beauty Lab and Laser.
Yeah.
I want to go to some of these restaurants that they go and have these. Oh my God, like here in the city or whatever it is.
Bye, you guys.
Bye. Right. I have LaCroix too.